a short shifter that feels, by the way, excellent. Ooh, I don't know what that was. Ladies and gentlemen, 2003 BMW M3 E46, my personal favorite generation of M3. We're powered by the S54 engine. That's a 3.2 liter naturally aspirated inline six, making 333 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. But if you look back here, it says Dinan on it. This car has been tuned by Dinan, and in this configuration makes 369 horsepower. We're weighing in around 3,400 pounds, McPherson strut. Now, what does the Dinan package include? This is the S2 package with throttle bodies, cold air intake, software cams, strut brace front and rear muffler, 3.91 final drive down from like a 4.0 something. Brembos, pedals, floor mat suspension, and wheels were removed. We have KW V2 coilovers, as well as ground control camber plates, Recaro Sportster seats, and Meisterschaft stainless midsection, which the owner says makes it sound a little bit less raspy than other E46s. Also gotta love this interior, this leather color in the rear and on the door panels here and on the steering wheel. Obviously these aftermarket Recaros and their stock black upholstery are not gonna match that color, but I think it's called caramel, but I dig it. I like these Recaros. They're comfortable yet supportive and a good seating position, the E46. Second to last generation of M3 with hydraulic rack and pinion power steering. And the steering here very sharp, very precise, which I love. I remember the first time I watched an E46, which you can see right up here, I was so impressed that a car from more than 20 years ago could feel so sharp and so modern. But I will say that those who say the E46 has the best hydraulic steering of any BMW, the feedback is muted. It's there, but it's very, very muted. Such a smooth engine, as BMW inline six engines tend to be. Now, you have 6 generations of M3. You have E30, E36, E46, which is this one, the E90, the F80, G80. This is my favorite M3. The way that I categorize those 6 generations is into little couplets. So the first two, E30 and E36, that's the old school driving and highly analog feeling vehicle. This middle generation is still analog feeling, but now it is more modern with its driving dynamics and inputs. It has sharper steering, the throws on, the shifter. Granted, this is a short shifter that feels, by the way, excellent. Ooh, I don't know what that was. There's something in the actual mechanism here that kind of, it's not the gears grinding, it's something else, but there's a little bit of like interference there that you can feel. It kind of, you feel it in your hand when you shift it. There I did feel it. Interesting. So anyways, it's modern yet still analog. You're still retaining a lot of that analog nature while making it feel like a more modern vehicle. And then the third couplet, the F80, G80, are both digital and modern. That's where you're losing a lot of feedback and feel, and you're going far more video game in inputs and driver communication. Keeps happening when I downshift into third. I don't know what that is. Some component in there might be loose. Now the brakes here, when I'm getting hard on the brakes, I'm feeling this pad deposit, this undulation on the brakes. Not ideal. Makes me not want to push the brakes too hard. Yeah, I can feel you can see the whole steering wheel shudder like that, right? Now I wish I had a stock M3 E46 to compare this to, This one is quite high mileage, almost 200k, 198,000 miles. But wow, the owner or the prior owner has done a great job refreshing this, because it is not feeling... I've driven many much more tired examples of an E46. This one does not feel super tired. It's not as sharp as that stock one I drove. That one was very low mileage. But the E46 is just such a straight out of factory, and especially with these additional mods, right? Like the KWV2 coilovers, a good, supple suspension, great for street work. Oh, brake. Really, I'm too close actually. Let's get me a little bit further back. So I can heel toe. All right. Let's try that heel toe again now that I'm sitting further back. There we go. But I do feel like my hands now, my elbows are really straightened out. But the E46, it feels so sharp and so good straight from factory. Such good bones. And you could argue that it has some limitations: McPherson strut front suspension, the heavier weight, and of course the big three maintenance items you have to fix if you are going to be pushing this car hard and you want longevity to the vehicle. But just the way it drives straight from factory is so impressive to me. It feels like such a big jump from the E36. Looks like with some heat in the brake pads, even with a little light touch, I'm getting a lot of that vibration now. Definitely not ideal. Owner may want to try rebedding pads, see if that clears some of the deposit. I'm liking the short shifter here. This feels OEM plus. It's still retaining very much that OEM shifter feel. You have a little bit of that BMW rubberiness, but it's not overly mechanical, not overly crisp and video game-like, which I've actually had that experience in a different aftermarket short shift kit for the E46 that we reviewed. But here, this is feeling quite good, apart from that occasional little grinding that's happening, not in the transmission, but something up here. The chassis communicates with you in a way that you're actually encouraged to push it harder. The engine is smooth, nice linear power delivery. It very much encourages you to push it harder and drive it faster. We drove a E90 earlier today. And that car took the BMW M3 more in the GT direction. It has a more special engine with that V8. But this is far more sports car in terms of driving dynamics and feel. It's also a lot lighter. Very natural inputs. The one thing I don't like about this though is when you go into sport mode here, the throttle becomes an on-off switch. There's no modulation. Like, I will very slowly and gradually get on the throttle and just listen. There's no middle. Either you're going 0 or 50% throttle. There's no middle ground. So I actually like sport off. And we'll press that DSC button. Excellent, comfortable and supportive. Exactly what you want from a sports car that you want to retain the usability for, but also have that support you're getting more aggressive on the canyons. Big thanks to the owner, Gil, for letting me review his E46. Big thanks to Fenton's son from the Zygreen YouTube channel for making this review possible. My friends, let me know what you think of this E46 with the Dinan S2. If you want your car reviewed on Jabal and Cars, visit us on jabalandcars.com, fill out the form on the homepage, and I'll be in touch. Until next time, my friends.